But I'm telling you what, my skin is going to be looking amazing once I'm done with this facial, okay? Look, today I'm multitasking. So I was like, you know what? Let me go live and let my girls, see me do a little multitasking. Let's just chat, have a little girl talk. I am, doing my facial this Saturday. I am also stamping my fans. You guys know, right? Let me show y'all this. Y'all know that part of my brand line, part of the Kingdom Code is the fangirls, right? So these are our fans, and what I do is I stamp these fans, and I personally test them all before I sell them. So each fan is stamped and tested by me. So this is one of our official merchandise for the Kingdom Code. So if you are interested, right now you can only really get it from me in person. I have not elevated just yet to shipping them because we don't really have the demand just yet. But as soon as y'all let me know y'all are ready for that, then I prepare that. But anyway, so these are our fans, y'all. Is that loud in the microphone? Is that loud though? Let me see. Let me do a real quick sound check too, by the way. So what's going on? How are y'all today? How's your Saturday? What y'all got going on? So as you can see, I am in prep mode, right? So I'm doing my facial. My hair is in rollers. Okay, I got the locks in rollers, honey. Hold on. So what's going on? How I'm in prep mode, right? So I'm doing my facial. Okay, good. Y'all can hear me good. My hair is in. Okay, so y'all go ahead and like the video when y'all get in here. Go ahead and like the video. We're just gonna chat. We're just gonna have some girl chat. But anyway, so like I said, I got an event to go to, a couple of events to go to tonight. So I'm in prep mode. So I'm doing my facial, getting my skin ready for my makeup. I'm gonna do my makeup tonight. I think I'm gonna start I'm gonna start maybe an hour and a half earlier than what I need to, because I just want to just sit and take my time today with putting on my makeup. I don't know. I just feel like I'm in the mood for that. Do y'all ever just feel that way? Like sometimes you just want to, just take your time and apply your makeup. So you want to have plenty of time just to kind of just, be a girl about it and just take your time and do your eyebrows and, you know what I'm saying? Take your time and do your eyeshadow. Like sometimes I just have those modes that I get in where it's just I just want to take a little bit of extra time on myself just to, glam up, So I'm just feeling in that mood today. We have a step show, local step show that's happening this evening. I'm really excited about it because I love when the community does some really good family events where it's the whole entire family can go. Everybody has a great time. It's just fun. It's safe, and it's something to do, and of course, it's like a family reunion type of situation. Everybody gets together and that's always just really cool, So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to be doing some streaming there and, just recording the performances and stuff like that. I'm going to put a really cool video together. I really, this year, I just feel I don't know, I just kind of want to do a little something extra for this event. So I'm going to stream it and then I'm going to actually pre-record it, because y'all remember last year when I recorded it, if you're on my Facebook page and you saw it, because I went live when I was there. But I think because everybody was kind of doing some streaming at the same time, that I think there was just a little overload on the internet, so, or in the Wi-Fi or whatever. So I was getting all kind of interference while I was trying to live stream. So I think this year I am going to record it so that I can get uninterrupted footage, and then I can really do a voiceover, do some commentary, and just kind of make it real cute. Since I became an ambassador for my local community, for my local county, I just take so much pride in community, and it's really because y'all know, like, well, maybe y'all don't know this yet. Hold on. Y'all don't know this yet, but most of y'all don't know this. But okay, so I was the only one of my siblings who was born in a different state, right? So all of my siblings was born in Detroit. I was the only one who was born in West Virginia, right? And we were like, we weren't there that long, so it wasn't like I actually felt like, okay, West Virginia is my home or anything like that. It was nothing like that. But so I never had that attachment there. And then when we moved back to Detroit, we ended up leaving, when I was very young. So I never really had that attachment there. So like when people ask me where I'm from, I always say Detroit because that's where my family's from, right? So that's where my familial roots are from. So that's what I always say. And that's where both of my parents grew up for the most part. And so that's where I always say I'm from, but I don't have like any type of point of reference. Like when people ask me where such and such is from or where such and such is in Detroit, and they're like, oh, do you know where this mile is and that mile or whatever? And I'm just like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really have that sense of community there, right? So then we moved down south and then eventually we moved to Germany. So when people ask me where I'm from, I say I'm from Detroit, but I grew up in Germany. But I mean, it's Germany. I mean, it's a foreign country. So it's not like I just be going back and visiting like I have roots there. You know what I mean? I don't. It was military. So not even the people that I knew when I grew up there are still there because they were military. So everybody's gone, right? So it's like I never really felt like I had roots. And I don't know if anybody else has ever had that experience, but like if you haven't, it's almost like you don't really feel like you belong anywhere. You always feel like there's a sense of like displacement. You don't really like have any hooks in anywhere. You don't have like a lot of history, in a place where you could be like, okay, like way back, I still remember before this changed and before that changed. You know what I'm saying? Like you just don't have those roots, and it's different. I mean, I guess I'm guessing it's different because I don't know any different. So I mean, I can't really say for sure it's different. Maybe y'all feel the same way. I don't know. But I feel like I've always longed for that, like to feel like I have a community and I belong somewhere and I have history and I know people and people know me and and all that stuff. And I feel like that now. And I guess, I've been here for a while, around this area, but I really started feeling that way when I married my husband because he's from here. And so he has like, that point of reference. He has that community sense, people that he graduated high school from. He still talks to them and sees them and they do trips together and they like each other. So it's like, it's really cool to like see that and to be a part of it. And so I've just kind of like taken his roots and just made them mine because I'm like, well, he's my husband, honey. So it's my right, it's my wifely right to take his roots and make them my roots. Okay. So that's what I do. And so then I, decided I wanted to be more active in the community, like really make it mine. So I just got more involved. So now I'm an ambassador at the chamber. And I just like, y'all, I'm just totally living my life. You know what I'm saying? Living my life like it's golden, honey. Okay. And so I guess I just have like this way I feel like things should be, or like how I want them to be, kind of being a part of a community now. And it's like I really get to shape this image of what I feel like someone who really takes pride in their community would be, who doesn't even really like belong in the community necessarily, but just, is just taking pride and just taking ownership in it. It's like I'm just taking ownership. Like this is my community now. And when I really think about it, a lot of people here, because this did used to be a military town, I'm sure a lot of people that are here now didn't necessarily have roots here either, you know? And I guess in a way, it's just wherever your heart ends up being, you know, which my heart is here, you know, my husband's here, my kids were born here. So it's like this is home to me now, you know? And I just wanted to feel like home. And in my home, I support, you know, what is going on here. You know, I support the infrastructure. I support the things that we want to do differently. I support, you know, us making our home better and improvements and stuff like that, right? And I have that same sense of pride when it comes to my community. So when I see things like getting better, you know, businesses coming in, you know, just more infrastructure and more possibilities and more opportunities, you know, I love that. And it just does something to my whole heart and soul, y'all, you know? And I feel like because I feel that way and I was one of those people who always felt displaced, I feel like I could be a good example of, you know, maybe other people who feel displaced in their communities too, you know, or in their families or, you know, in their friend group or whatever the case may be, you know, to just kind of like um, make a decision on where you want to or how you want to be, you know, something productive, you know, finding your purpose, finding a place within the community where you can thrive, you know. Like I feel like I just kind of came into it and have been doing my own thing, you know. Like I volunteer for events, but I mean everybody knows I'm gonna show up with my camera, with my you know what I'm saying? Everybody knows I'm gonna show up with some type of recording device, and I'm going to like showcase people in like the absolute best light, in their best like vibes, in their best spirit and aura, and you know, and all of that stuff, and them just doing positive things and you know, wanting things to be better. And I think that, you know, you have to be a good example of that, you know, you have to be a good example of that. And so that's why I just kind of take it on. I'm not one of those types that'll be like on social media, like, you know, people don't support and all of that stuff, you know, because I feel like people don't really know how, you know, people don't really know how. And I was thinking about this other day, right? This it was this TikTok I was watching, and it was like a stitch. So it was like a couple of people who commented on it from the original post, right? This lady was saying that she had purchased the house and she had only lived in the house. It was a brand new construction, and she had only lived in the house for like a year, and she was paying a certain amount. Now, a year later, she has an increase in her mortgage of $1,000. And so she's like, OMG, I don't know how I'm going to manage this. And she talks about how there was, you know, parts of the home buying process that she just didn't know. She didn't know that, you know, because it was a new construction, that the property tax was assessed at a certain amount when there was no house there. And then the following year or two, then they have to reassess it for now there being a new construction there. And so now there's a totally different cost for that, right? And those are kind of hidden things that people don't know about. And there was a couple of stitches, right, of people reviewing it, right? And they were like, okay, so y'all see, this is the Kingdom Code fan. I just stamped it. I always test them. And because, you know, only the best fans for my girls, okay? Only the best fans for my girls. So anyway, so then there was a one stitch that came in, and it was a lady. She was like, this guy was so angry, you know, and so judgmental and stuff like that, you know. Then the guy stitch comes in. He was like, you expect us to feel sorry for you? You didn't know that, what did you get, like an adjustable variable loan, or, you know, adjustable rate loan, and, you know, you didn't know that and stuff like that. And it's just like, y'all, it just put such a sour taste in my mouth. Like, oh, that is so distasteful to be that way. And then I was kind of thinking about myself, because anytime, I'm judging someone else, I got to look back at myself to be like, okay, wait, was there instances where I did this? Or, am I so good, and above it all that I won't make this same mistake like this dude did, And so of course I thought about it, and I just was like, I'm pretty sure I've been that way. Like, okay, let me just say it this way. On this channel, y'all, we're gonna judge. Okay. So I'm not even gonna say it like we're not gonna judge. We're gonna judge, right? Because we are supposed to make judgments, right? But I don't never want to like talk down anybody or belittle anybody, because you don't know stuff until you know it, and you might be a big old age before you realize that, there's a lot of hidden, a lot of hidden things in contracts that we sign. There's a lot of small print that we might not know about. And I just don't think that people deserve to be beat up about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't know until you know. And then, of course, like when you know, then you need to do better. Now, if you know and you still decide that you want to proceed, then, I mean, that's different. Then we gonna make a judgment, okay? That would be the situation where we make a judgment. But just to go off on this woman was like, it was unreal to me, because in my mind, I'm thinking, why not just use this as a teachable moment? And it's not an effective teaching method to beat somebody down with knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't know, you know what I'm saying? You didn't know that was unjust for very long. You want us to feel sorry for you. I just don't think it's necessary, and it's not productive, and it's just nasty. And I just don't want to be that way, So I guess I just said all that to say, like, if ever I'm like on here and I'm giving y'all advice, or, I'm talking to y'all about a certain thing that, an area of concern or whatever, I don't ever want to come at y'all like that, Like, I just want to lead with love in everything that I do, lead with love, because then you can accept it, then I'm not wasting my breath. Then we can actually get something done. Then, there can actually be progress. Y'all see what I'm saying? And I just feel like, if we talking about the lost art, you guys know I did this little like precursor preview video of a topic that I want us to start discussing, and that is the lost art of being a lady. But there's a lost art in a lot of areas where we need to be more skillful, right? We need to be more skillful in how we talk to each other, how we correct each other, because just because you're telling the truth doesn't mean that you can just do it nasty. It doesn't mean that, you can totally just beat a person down and then you're like, well, I'm telling you the truth, so you should just accept it. No, that's not how that works. Like, you're virtually making it impossible for me to be able to accept this because of your delivery, And so I want us to really start thinking of these skills, like these people skills, these soft skills or whatever, as an art, an art that you need to, to gain skill in. I don't like that one. I don't like that fan, so I'm not gonna sell that one. But so, that's like what I think about, and so I guess I just, I'm thinking really heavily about this mission and this platform and all of that stuff. And I just want to be a good steward of the message that God has given me, I want to be sensitive to, sensitive to the hurts and the pains that we've all been through, those things that kind of like make it hard for us to hear what we don't want to hear, what we need to hear, but we don't really want to hear it because it hurts to hear it, I just want us to heal and be better. But I know that there's a way of doing that. And there's a way of doing it that is not productive. And there's been a lot of that going on. And we've been using that as an excuse to be abusive to people. Well, I'm just telling them the truth, and that whole bit. It's like, come on now. Yeah, it might be the truth, but I'm going to truthfully want to slap you upside your head because of how you saying this to me right now. We know, that's one thing that I always thought about, like, growing up is, when someone's doing something out of love or when they doing something to hurt you, even when they telling you the truth, and it's almost gaslighted to tell a person, well, I'm just telling you the truth, and you not even be concerned about your delivery at all. I mean, come on. You can tell, just like a child can tell, when their parent is disciplining them out of love and when they're being abusive. It's like people just try to act like you don't know the difference, and it's like, yeah, I know the difference. I know when you're trying to hurt me. So I'm just telling you, I'm not that girl, I just know that you don't know stuff until you know stuff, and like a person can just totally beat you down about not knowing something, but it's like how was I expected to just know everything? How was I supposed to know that? There was no point of reference. Maybe your parents didn't teach you because they didn't even know. You might be the first generation to do something, and then you make a mistake because you didn't know. You had absolutely no point of reference. But like I said, when you know better, you do better. So there's that part of it where it's like, okay, you can't, you could give grace, but you can't go overboard, because there are times when people are playing games with you. It's like they know better, but they want to bail out, or they don't want to take accountability. They want to be dysfunctional, because there are those types of people too. So, but you know what? On this channel, we're going to really work on our discernment, and really activating and elevating our gift of discernment. Because we all have it, like we all have the gift. So it's not like, I don't want you to think that this is some grand spiritual concept that you just, like, you can't reach it unless you're just some super spiritual person. No, everybody has it. But something happened while you were growing up to make you doubt your discernment. And I know what happened. Everything happened. The media happened. The way the world is happened. Religion happened. Patriarchy happened. I mean, like, all the things happen. There's a, like, this world does not value discernment. It does not value discernment. It's almost as if they're like, we don't want you to have discernment, because if you have discernment, you wouldn't be putting up with half the stuff that is going on in this world right now. You wouldn't put up with half of it. And then you'd realize that a lot of it is self-inflicted. Because, in the Bible, where it talks about how there are, people who are going to be telling you lies and trying to deceive you, it also talks about people having itching ears and people wanting to hear lies. So that's an indication to you that sometimes people are addicted to the dysfunction. They want the dysfunction. They're thriving off of the dysfunction. And in today's world, you are getting paid for the dysfunction. So that's even another added layer to this. You know what I'm saying? So this world does not want you to be a critical thinker. Does not want you to be a wise decision maker. They don't want that. You wouldn't buy half the things you buy. Me included. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's like, I'm someone who is above, messing up, making a bad decision here and there. But like, that's to be expected because we are human beings. But in all we do, we should be striving for this excellence. So I think we're steadily improving. We are doing the right thing. It's just how I feel about it. So how is your Saturday going? Like, I am really, really looking forward to farmers market season. Y'all, I absolutely love me a good old farmers market, honey. Okay. Listen, farmers market is my jam. I love that. I love watermelon season. Okay. Like, Phil doesn't eat watermelon. So y'all, I eat a whole watermelon by myself unless the boys come over and, they have some. But yeah, child. I love watermelon season and strawberry season and pineapple. Like, those are my absolute favorite fruits. I'm fond of Fuji apples. No, Honeycrisp apples and kiwi. I like kiwi too. And cantaloupe. Okay, like, I like it all. Okay, I think that's the moral of the story. I like it all. But yeah, I'm a really big fruit girl. So Phil always gets on to me because he's like, you need to eat more vegetables. I'd be like, well, you need to eat more fruit. Okay, like, this can go both ways. Y'all can see I'm low-key a rebellious wife, I am. But I low-key think that's why he married me, y'all. Okay, that's why he married me. He might say something different, though, but whatever. But y'all know what's crazy, though? Like, I don't advocate for marriage, okay? Like, I don't. You're never gonna hear me say, like, get married, like, it's the greatest thing, I don't. Like, I feel like my marriage is great, my current marriage, but you guys know, like, I've been married a couple, 3, 4 times, Why do I feel like I'm putting this on backwards? Why does this feel backwards to me? This feels backwards. Why does this feel backwards? Anyway, so yeah, I'm not one who advocates for marriage. Now, I do love healthy marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just, one who advocates for a person being as healthy as they can be, being in healthy relationships, period, And I think I've realized, like, over the past 3 years that not everybody should be in a relationship with, in a romantic sense, I just don't know if I believe that whole there's somebody for everybody thing, I just don't know if I believe it. It's like, there's genuinely people who don't want to be in a relationship. And I think, like, that's okay. It's people who want to be single, that's okay. And then the fact that there is a lot of dysfunction and a lot of toxic relationships out there is, like, even more reason to, to just opt out. Especially if, there's some healing that needs to take place within you, You gotta, let me see. You gotta you really gotta work on you. You gotta go inward first, you know? You gotta go inward. And I know that that's a really uncomfortable place for a lot of us. It really is. Probably before I left the church, I would have considered myself to be a lot more self-aware, you know? But I learned a lot about myself after leaving the church, you know? I learned a lot about myself. Just like to me, my greatest spirit, like in my entire life so far, I've had my greatest spiritual awakenings, my greatest spiritual connections, the best relationships and healthiest relationships in my life since I've left the church. Now, so I ask myself, why is that? You know, why is that? How is that? How's that possible? But I think that that's the story that a lot of us have. Especially a lot of us who were in unhealthy churches that, you know, had a lot of spiritual abuse going on, you know, especially if you was in the spiritual abuse for a long period of time and not knowing what it was exactly, you know, like you knew something wasn't right, but it's like, I don't know what's going on. And you low-key really think it's you. Like it must be you, or it must be the devil really like attacking, you know, attacking a church, only to find out that it's people in the church that was attacking the church, you know. So yeah, like I think sometimes you have to remove yourself out of certain environments in order to really thrive and discover your purpose. And sadly, here lately, a lot of people have had to leave their churches in order to discover their true purpose, their true calling, and to really have a real relationship with their creator, you know, with God. So, you know, I think that that's a topic that really deserves some serious analysis, you know, that why is that happening? Why is that really a thing? It's become a common thing now, you know. It's not a one of, you know, where you see someone who is like they're doing much better after they left the church. No, we're seeing that a lot. More mentally healthy, you know, thriving more financially and in their relationships. Their connection with God is much better. Their spiritual life is deeper and stronger. They've begun to walk in their purpose and their calling. They treat everything they do and every interaction as an opportunity to minister and as a ministry, you know? I mean, I don't care what you are doing. I want you to realize that whatever you are doing is a ministry. And so you should look at whatever you do just like that, with that much importance. What you're doing is important. When you're interacting with God's people, with God's children, you're doing something important. Period. Because I mean, when you think about it like that, if you do something to hurt them, you can really, you know what I'm saying? You can really make things terrible spiritually for people, you know? Having bad interactions and toxic relationships can really mess a person up spiritually too, you know? And so you have to think about everything you do is a reflection of God. It's a ministry. And why wouldn't we use every opportunity of interacting with God's people to show God's love? I mean, why not? Especially when it's like one of the easiest things you can do. I mean, really, what's so hard about it? What's so hard about it? Real talk. What's so hard about it? Not a thing. When you really think about it, there's nothing hard about that. We make it harder than what it has to be. So anyway, let me tell y'all about like some of the stuff that I want to do on this channel. So I've been putting together a lot of stuff. You guys know I told you I've been working behind the scenes. Now, sometimes I let things like get in the way. Like this, for the past like 3 or 4 days, y'all, I've been like struggling with an eye infection. Like you probably still see just a little bit. Like this eye is a little discolored and maybe a little puffy still. So like for the past like 3 or 4 days, I haven't gone anywhere. I had other like community events that I wanted to go to this week, but I couldn't go because my eye was jacked up. Right? So the fact that the truth of it is that I have health issues, right? So you guys know I have fibromyalgia and I have lupus, and sometimes those things get in the way. And they really, they really won't let your girl be great, So so sometimes I am not able to do all the things that I want to do with y'all and for y'all, And sometimes I just have to do work behind the scenes, like putting things together behind the scenes because, that might be all that I have the strength to do. So I've been doing that though. And sometimes when people don't see what you're doing, they don't know that you're doing anything. And so I just want to let you guys know that I'm doing a lot actually. I'm doing a lot actually. Even my mom was like, "You're doing a lot." I was like, "You know what? I think you're right. I think I am doing a lot." Because I just like when God gives me like a vision for something or idea, like I start getting to work on it, and I do as much as I can with, the idea that I have at the moment. And then, sometimes I have to just like let it rest, and just take a break. Like, for instance, sometimes I have an idea for a podcast show or, a book or, something like that. Right. So when I get the idea, what I'll do is I'll start to create the concept, whatever idea God has given me, I start to let, my creative juices just flow. Right. And so I start to create things like I'll, start to create a document, maybe I'll go into Chat GPT and I'll start to create some of the framework around it, give me ideas about this certain topic or, something like that, or how to do something in order so I can get that particular idea started, right? So I started doing that. And even sometimes I'll go into Canva and I'll start to create a visual, like some type of picture or some type of graphic or, something like that so that I can, so it starts to take shape. And so I have so many projects that are in that, they're taking shape phase. And I've done a lot of research or a lot of work on it. And it's just now in the phase of whenever I get the strength to, to make this more public and to make this happen, it'll be ready, or somewhat ready for this to happen. So that's kind of like my creative process. And so that's what I've been doing with a lot of things. And then I'm working on 2 certifications at the moment. And I'm also in 2 coaching programs at the moment. You know what? Now that I'm actually saying this out loud, I'm just trying to figure out why am I doing so much? And then I be wondering why my fibromyalgia flaring up. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's like, girl, you doing too much. But see, in my mind, I don't really think I'm doing too much. Most of the time, y'all, I feel like I'm not doing anything. I really do be feeling like that. And I don't know why. I don't know why. That's like a trick of the enemy, okay? Because listen, I really do a lot. I think a lot of us probably do a lot more than we really give ourselves credit for. Like if someone was to say, write me a list of everything that you are doing, like even when it comes to like your kids and the things that you have going on with your husband and your friend groups and, and you're in the book clubs and, and then you go to therapy and then, you try to work out and eat healthy and then you meal prep and then, you know what I'm saying? It's just all the things that we do that because we just do, we don't even realize we're doing. Child. And then you wonder why sometimes it's like you get dehydrated, okay, you get exhausted. It's like I need like a week of just straight sleep, you know. It's because when we really think about all the things that we're doing, we are really doing a lot. You know? So I'm telling y'all, it's interesting when you really start to think about it. There's a lot that makes us up, you know, as women. Like we're complex individuals, and there's so many layers and dimensions to us, you know. And just like I said, I think sometimes we don't even realize how much we're doing, you know, how much we're there for so many people. And, you know, sometimes we neglect to even, you know, do a little bit of self-care here and there, you know. Lord knows I am trying to do better about that, you know, because like I said, sometimes I really don't feel like I'm doing anything, and then I'll just crash, you know. Like I have those moments where I crash, and I have to my husband gets on me all the time about this, you know. I have to really be I have to really stay on top of myself, you know, as far as like taking care of myself and drinking my water, and, you know, taking care of my skin, and, you know, all of that stuff. It's just sometimes, you know, the time just gets away. The obligations and the responsibilities just, you know, they just take precedence, and you don't realize how much you haven't taken care of yourself, you know. Like you let your nails go, you know. You let your toes go, child. You ain't had a pedicure in so long, child. Them dogs has been barking, been scratching, been biting folks and everything else, honey. Okay. Because Lord knows, like over that whole winter time, y'all, I didn't do a pedicure the first. Okay. Not pedicure the first. So by the time it got a little bit warm outside, child, I was looking crazy. Hadn't shaved my legs. Okay. Y'all, I started making coffee, and this is instant. Okay. So again, the husband talks about me because I'm drinking instant, but y'all, I doctored it up. Okay. So I put like 2 different types of creamer in it. I put cinnamon and vanilla. Like I might have been doctoring up too much, right? But like, it's so good. It's so good. I feel like a barista. Okay. Feel like a barista. And it didn't even cost me that much. Okay. I'm trying to be a little bit more financially responsible, you know, y'all. Like I'm trying to be a little bit more responsible, because I think I got a little bit out of hand. Like last couple months I've been trying to buy some, you know, some more clothes and some more shoes, just to kind of like expand my wardrobe a little bit more. And, you know, I kind of change styles a little bit. Do y'all ever just go through those phases where it's like you change your style, and it's like, you know, I'm not feeling this style of clothes anymore. I just want to switch it up, you know? Like, y'all, when I was still going to church, it was like all I had was like church clothes, you know? When I was in the military, it was like all I had was military clothes. And so when I would go shopping, only thing I would really buy was what I would wear when I'm not in uniform, which is what, like after hours, you know? So it would be like after hours clothes, or like going out clothes or something like that, you know? But and then of course when all you do is go to church, it's like all you have is like church clothes. And then sometimes you go through like different phases of your life, and you're just like, you know, I'm just not that girl anymore. I just don't want to dress like that anymore. You know, my style has changed. You know, maybe I've gotten a little older, and I just want to, you know, dress a little more sophisticated or whatever. You know, maybe I'm done with college and now I have a professional job, and I want to, you know, switch up my style a little bit. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's quite normal. And I actually think it's probably not normal, you know, to not have those moments ever. You'll never like feel a change, within yourself where you change your style. I don't know. But again, I might just be a little, I don't know, I could be a little judgy that way, but I just think that change is normal, I definitely don't dress the same way I dressed when I was a teenager, and I just wouldn't think that a person would. I'll be 44 this year in August. I'm a Leo. And I just can't imagine still like dressing like a teenager, and I'm 44, nearly 44, But then it's like, what does that even mean? Like dressing like a teenager, what does that even mean? Because, we see some teenagers that dress down, okay? Like they just like, they got it, So it's like, you can't even really say that or say it like that. I guess it's just kind of like the stereotypical, but child, I don't know. Everybody just has their own way, I guess. But I just think that evolving and changing is a normal part of life. And if that's not happening in whatever way, shape, or form that happens, then you should probably do some self-evaluation. That's what I think. That's my humble opinion. Come on here. I don't know why I'm struggling with these today, y'all. I'm low-key struggling with these fans today. But y'all absolutely love these. And you know what's crazy is that these ended up coming in so handy because like the last like 2 years, I started like having like hot flashes. I feel like it's like a pre-menopause type thing. But like, it's like everywhere I go, I just get hot, And so it comes in, like, I just be fanning myself. I was at a restaurant the other day. My husband went to the bathroom and this guy came in and sat next to me. We sit at the bar. And he was trying to talk to me. And I knew that he was trying to talk to me because he was attracted to me. But he wasn't saying anything that was like forward, like he was trying to holler at me, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? It was just more like small talk. So I was polite, And I that's something we got to talk about, y'all, okay? We got to talk about that because I think some of y'all are really, really mean. I think some of y'all are really, really mean, really nasty. And you don't have to be. If a person is I think right? You know. And if not, that's another area where you could work on your discernment. But I think when a person is approaching you, disrespecting you, or is deserving of a more forward and direct approach to like dealing with them. I think right? But I think that some of us take the opportunity to be nasty when we don't have to be. And the guy, he came and sat down next to me, and he was, I knew, because I'm a woman and I have discernment, I have intuition. I knew he was trying to holler at me, but he wasn't saying anything to where I would be like, I'm married. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that would have been a nasty way to handle the situation. And that's just not how I handle myself. He was making small talk, but it wasn't in a way that he was really trying to engage me. It was just, he was asking if he could sit down. Yeah, it was a free seat. Sit down, of course, I had put my purse in the seat. I was going to move my purse out of the way, even though he was sitting the chair over from me, I still just didn't want my purse near him. You know what I'm saying? So I was about to move it. Of course, he was like, it's okay, whatever. So he was it wasn't anything like crazy. And then he asked about my fan. And I was in there hot, per usual, in there fanning myself for dear life. Okay. It was, oh, Lord help me, Jesus. Hot flash. But anyway, so he said something about my fan. He was like, "You carry that everywhere you go," and I was like, "Yeah." And then I said, "It's my brand," and I showed him my branding on it. And I said, "I sell these, it's part of my brand." And as I was talking to him and telling him about the fan, and I, sell him and all that, he said, "Oh, you're married." He was like, "I just saw your ring," and then he left me alone for the rest of the time. But it wasn't because I was like nasty to him, like, "I'm married." You know what I'm saying? He didn't say anything that would have warranted that response. And I think that a lot of us don't know how to respond in a given situation, given what's said, the circumstances, the attitude of the person. It's like you have to do, well, you don't have to, but it's smart to do, a quick critical analysis in that situation. Some of us are entirely too friendly, and we end up setting ourselves up. And no, it's not your fault if a person does something bad to you because they have bad intentions, right? But there is a way that you can handle yourself and carry yourself to where you can mitigate those types of instances, or you can avoid those types of instances. And I think that a lot of us women, right? A lot of us daughters out here, we are very nasty to people when, they may just be being polite, or they may really honestly be trying to holler at us, but we are nasty in a way that does bring on a certain response. And I think that me saying that is going to make a certain demographic of us take offense to think that I'm victim blaming, right? But then there's the discerning demographic of us that knows that in this day and age, you can't just do what you want to do. You can't just say what you want to say. You can't just go where you want to go and expect no retaliation or consequences, or expect that the other person that you're interacting with is going to handle it in a sane way. You have to realize that there are crazy people out there, and that you're going to have to move differently. You're going to have to move differently in order to save yourself, in order to stay safe, because you're in a world where there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of hatred, there's a lot of dysfunction, there's a lot of toxicity, and not everybody means you well. Now, let's say I had handled that situation differently, right? Let's say when he came in there and, he's asking if he could sit down, and, I say, yeah, the seat's free or whatever. And then he asked about my fan or whatever. And I'm just like, can't you see, like, I'm married, can't you, like, why are you bothering me? Why are you talking to me? Or no, not interested. Like, it's just like, what would that have got me? It may have even started something, and then my husband comes back from the bathroom, and now I'm arguing with this man, and now I done got my husband into something he don't even know. Like, he just got out the bathroom, like, what is going on? What is going on here? But it's because I didn't handle it in a way that was discerning, like smart, taking a critical analysis of the situation and making a wise decision on how I handled myself and how I handled that person. A lot of us are not handling things in the most critical way. And we can't take on this victim mentality to where we're just like, if anybody tries to show you where you could have made a different decision in an effort to help you make a better decision in the future, you take offense. I often think about, you guys, I didn't have a daughter, but I created this whole platform and this whole like framework around talking to other daughters. I call myself Delores, the pastor's daughter. You guys know I was a double PK. Both of my parents were pastors. So I have insight into the plight of a daughter, a daughter who is living in the shadow of their parents' job or their parents' title or their expectations from their parent or whoever raised them, whoever it is. Because it could have been your grandparent, who had like these, expectations of you, and you were just living in a shadow of maybe somebody who was bad, in your bloodline. Like for me, I felt a lot of pressure to be in the ministry just like my parents and just like most of my family. Like you guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but Dietrich Haddon is my first cousin, and so our whole side of the family is in the ministry and gospel artists and stuff, right? I don't never lead with that because like it's just like why would I? You know what I mean? It's like why would I? I have my own life and I have my own identity, and but it was a fight. It was a fight to get there, and I feel that for other daughters. And I just feel like if I had a daughter, right? Now you guys know I had 2 sons, and I love my boy. Like they are like y'all. My sons, they official, honey, okay? But I didn't have a daughter, and but I created this whole platform around daughters and speaking to daughters. And so I want to have this approach that if I was giving my daughter advice, if I was teaching my daughter, the daughter that I, didn't have, and Phil and I had 3 miscarriages, y'all. So, I was sure that I was supposed to have a daughter. Okay. I'm not going to cry. But anyway, now I have this, passion for like daughters everywhere, because I know that there is a plight that we all have, and even if ours is just slightly different because of where we come from, or maybe our religious or, orientation, or even our, sexual orientation, or, there's a lot of daughters out here that are dying, by the hands of like their own fathers, y'all, and I just have like there's just a space in my heart for that, for other daughters. And so I think about, what if I was teaching my daughter, how would I expect my daughter to know something that I haven't taught her, So like, that's the approach I want to have with y'all. It's like, I don't want to have this approach like, oh, y'all should have known, you should have known to do better, or to be better, or to think that through, or, to not have made that decision, or not got with that guy, or whatever, because it's like, sometimes you don't know until you know. And if you never had even another daughter, like me, I'm a daughter, and I don't want to look at y'all like y'all are my daughters. That's not what I'm saying. It's not in any type of way like I'm trying to take a mother role. It's just like daughter to daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's like, I understand you because I'm a daughter too, And I just feel like we just got to go back to the basics of it, that was one of the major things that was so powerful in me and my mother healing our, our issues, because I had to look at my mother like she's a daughter too, she's my mother. Yeah. But because she was my mother, I put these expectations on her that she should have known better for a lot of the things or decisions that she made, including marrying my father, like, you should have known better. But how could she? She was someone's daughter, and those lessons that she should have gotten about men from her father, she didn't get. Y'all know what my father told me. He told me that I should get married young because I wasn't going to be pretty forever. That's the advice my father gave me, So it's like, how do we as daughters really look down on another daughter when we know that we all have our own plight? But like, there's an intersectionality in it all. And the intersectionality is that we're all daughters, and there is a daughter plight that we all have. Even though our plight looks different, right? Because I don't have to go around with a head dressing on, and if I even show some of my hair, I might get beat to death. That's not my plight, but that's a plight of a daughter out there. And I feel a ways about it, Daughter to daughter, I feel a ways. So that's just how I look at it. It's like, we all have these expectations of the people that were in that role for us, in that parental role or whatever, or that leadership role in our lives. And sometimes it wasn't so good. It wasn't so healthy for us. Some of us lost our lives, you know. Some of us lost our sanity. Some of us lost our faith. And I just have a soft spot for that. And not soft as in, you know, I know that not every daughter is going to be a part of this community. She's not going to be able to. Some of us are too far gone. You know, some of us are too hurt, too toxic, you know, and I know that. So it's not a soft spot in the sense that my discernment is turned off, you know, and then like my discernment don't kick in. Oh, no. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. You know, I'm well aware that not every daughter is gonna be on board. Everybody can't go, y'all. Everybody can't go. And that's not anything that you should be sad about, because that we already knew, you know. Our Father, our God in heaven, already told us, already sent us the warning, right? That there was going to be a great separation. It's just that in toxic Christianity or in toxic religion, we think that we don't have to separate ourselves, and that if we separate ourselves, then we are judging and that we're being unfair to those around us. And that's just not the case. That's a very very dysfunctional and toxic way of looking at it. You'll be separated from your family members. You'll be separated from your siblings. You'll be separated from daughters separated from their moms, sons separated from their fathers. It's in the Bible, y'all. It's in the Bible. So you can't be shocked by this, and you can't you can. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm not saying it like that. But I'm just saying, if you're using discernment and you want to make better decisions, you know, and you're using critical analysis, then you have to realize that this is how it's supposed to be, you know, and that for us to even think that we have to bring everybody along and it's everybody's supposed to be a part is a dysfunctional way of thinking. And I would be very leery of being a part of any organization that thinks that everybody can be a part of it. That sounds very demonic to me, because the Bible says something different. Something very different. And so I'm going to go with the Bible on that. And it checks out to me, right? It checks out because I can see it within my own family, within my father's choices. There will be a great separation. And the only way that I could still be associated with him is to be a deceiver as well. Because our two spirits, they clash. They don't get along, you know? I'm a discerner. And a discerner can't be in the same space doing business, you know, being in relationship or anything with a deceiver. You know? You can't do that and expect to still be a discerner, because it's like, how do the two agree? They can't. So if you agreeing with a deceiver, then you're a deceiver too. That's how that works. You gotta separate yourself, you know. That's the plot twist in it all. Is why we were sitting there thinking that, oh, we gotta wait until, you know, the rapture or something to separate ourselves, you know. No. We had to wait until the rapture to be separated. But no, you can separate yourself right now. You're supposed to. It's in the Bible. In the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to think about that. And I think it's part of our nature to just want everybody like, oh, let's just all get along, let's all, everybody come along, everybody, let's all be friends, but that's not biblical. That's not biblical. I'm almost done, y'all. Oh wait, I'm done. I thought I had one more. Oh yeah, I do have one more. It was under that paper. I got one more and then I'm done. Done with the fans. I need to go ahead and order some more. I like to keep, I like to stay stocked up on my fans. Because, like, you can end up going to, like, an event. Like, let's say tonight, right? I go out and let's just say somebody want fans. Somebody want a fan. Then they'll get a fan from me, and then somebody else will see it. They're like, I want a fan too. So if you go to if you go to a dance or something like that, it could totally be where everybody wants one, So I try to keep them, It was like one party we was at, y'all, it was in December, child. So you would think it'd have been cool, but everybody was in there sweating because we was all on the dance floor. It was a birthday party, so I had gifted the birthday girl with a fan. And so when I saw her sweating, I went and got her birthday gift because you put all the birthday gifts on the table. I went and got her birthday gift. I was like, girl, I think you need this now. Okay. And it was a fan in there. She was like, thank you so much. It was like right on time. And I'm like, of course, because that's how we do. We right on time. You know what I'm saying? We may not come when you want us, but we right on time. Ain't that what ain't that what it say? Okay, ain't that what that say? Do you hear me? Okay, come on, last fan. Don't defeat me. Do not defeat me. Okay. This is like it's not easy to stamp these fans for y'all. I put a lot of love in these fans, y'all. Okay. So you can be an official Kingdom Code girl. It's get on code for me, And this doesn't this stands for Community of Daughters Everywhere Code, right? It's called the Kingdom Code. And I'm gonna do a whole video about what that means to me and why I created it like that. Because they're in our community, especially the Black community, we was always talking about getting on code, get on code, on code with all the rest of the Black people in the community, so we can get things done. If everybody's on code, theoretically, you're supposed to be able to get things done because everybody is on one accord. Everybody has the same vision. Everybody's working towards the same goal, right? But that became toxic. It just totally became toxic because what happens is being on code now has turned into, especially in the Black community, is protect the abusers, you know what I'm saying? Be quiet. Whatever happens in this house stays in this house. Don't let anybody outside the community know what's going on in here. And what happens is that just ended up protecting abusers, right? Making victims feel isolated, alone, neglected, not loved, you know what I'm saying? Just not valued or important at all. And so it just became super toxic. And of course, when there's a system like that, nothing ever changes. The abuse continues. In fact, it gets worse because there's so many supporters of the abuse, right? So it became a toxic thing. But I think that as daughters, we need to take that and we need to get on code with one another, because what is happening is we are being dehumanized as women and girls. We are being taken out by an alarming rate. And we are not on one accord when it comes to our treatment, our the way we move and the way we handle the opposite sex. We don't look out for each other or protect each other. We don't warn each other, And because we are not on one accord about just the essence of women and girls, which I feel like is what we should get on code about, we are literally being made extinct. We're being taken out of here like crazy. We're losing our minds. We're losing our children, A lot of things are going wrong for women and girls right now. And so I created this community so that we can get on one accord. And I'm not talking about no dysfunctional, no toxic stuff, okay? Because I'm not even about that. I'm about health, right? And I'm about you being who God created you to be, not to fit in this community, to, have to be on code, as in we all have to look the same and talk the same and be the same, believe the same. And no, it's not supposed to be like that. But we are supposed to celebrate each other's differences. And then we bring all of that to the table. We bring all of that to the pot. And y'all, we can really cook up some good stew off of it. Maybe I'm getting a little hungry. But I'm just saying, getting on code for me is taking our power back as women and girls, as daughters, right? Changing the narrative so that no one ever forgets that we are somebody's daughter, that that we have a purpose and a calling on our lives, that we are divine, that we are the reproducers and the producers in this world, and that we are valuable in that space. And I want us to get comfortable with being who we are. And we're just not there yet. And because we're not there, there's a lot of division among us. There's a lot of hatred among us. We don't support each other like we should. We don't love on each other like we should. And it's just, I don't know, it's just sad for me, And so if there's anything that I can do to change that, which I feel like I know what I can do, and I'm doing what I can do. And as God gives me, as God opens up more doors for me, then I'll be doing more things, and I'll just, all the ideas that God has given me in this space and the influence I plan to use. And to really grow this community. Everybody has been asking, right? A lot of people have been asking. A lot of women and girls have been asking for a space. Y'all been asking for a space where we can come together and we could be on one accord. That's the kingdom code. That's the kingdom code. And because I feel like I grew up everywhere, right? Like I've been everywhere. I've been, I grew up in Germany, and, I've been all up north and all down south and everywhere in between. I think I have a knowledge and an affection for everybody that brings everybody together. I think that's one of my other special gifts, is that I bring people together. I mean, if you just look at my pictures on Facebook, and you see what I do in the community, there's no one that I won't talk to or interact with. There's no race that dominates my time or anything like that. The only thing that you'll see me being like biased towards is women and girls. That's it. That's my discriminator right there. If you're not a daughter, then you really don't belong in this community, but you can be a supporter of this community. Like, I want fathers, right, to be in this, to be a viewer and a supporter of this community, because your daughters are part of this community. So I want you to support it in that sense of, I know that this is a community that is safe for my daughter to be a part of. Like, she can be here, and she's safe here, and she can learn a lot here, and she can be cared for and loved here and treated with dignity and respect here at the Kingdom Code. And it's not anything that's toxic. She's not going to come back talking crazy and being crazy and doing crazy and, hating and, all of that stuff, because that's not who I am. So that's not the message that I give, that's not the space that I have created. And so when it comes to men, I really just want fathers to be supporters of this space, because their daughters are part of this space. Maybe you'll be a future father and you realize, like, I have to support this space of daughters because I'm going to have a daughter. And this world needs to be safe for my daughters. So I need to support this community of daughters who are committed to being accountable, right? Because I know accountability is a big thing, and it's a big thing too. Like, I feel like it's a big thing that we don't take accountability when we need to. But I think that that's something that daughter to daughters should really be talking about, and I don't think we do enough of that. And especially not enough where we actually show care, and that we do it in a loving, kind way, but anyway, so I need to go. I need to take a nap. You guys know I have to take frequent naps, child. Okay. I got 2 events to go to this evening. So that is why I'm prepping myself. My hair is in rollers and I have my mud mask on. So I'm about to go wash this off and then, put on my serums and all of that good stuff. So I can, have my skin looking just right tonight. So I can get glammed up. And if you are interested in the mask and the Desi products that I use, on my skin, I put the link in the description box. If you use that link, you can get a discount. You just put that link right in your browser and it'll take you directly to the Aviv Spa Desi product site. And the discount will automatically appear when you go to the checkout. Okay, so I love you guys. And remember, you are important to me. I need you to survive. I love you. Bye-bye for now.